Genetically modified foods are acquired from organisms whose DNA has been modified in a way that does not occur naturally. We can use modern biotechnology to introduce a gene from a different organism. Most GM foods stem mostly from plants, but we will be seeing more and more GM animals being introduced on the market. All of the genetically modified foods that have been put on the market have passed safety regulations, and there have been no effects on human health. When discussing and developing GM foods, three main safety issues are considered. The first is the ability of the edited genes or food product to cause an allergic reaction. No allergic effects have been found relative to GM foods currently on the market. The second is the transfer of genes from GM foods to the human digestive tract. The probability of transfer is low, however, the use of gene transfer technology that does not involve antibiotic resistance genes is encouraged. Third is outcrossing, meaning the transfer of genes from GM organisms to other species. Several countries have developed preventative strategies, including clear separation of GM and non-GM food crops. Living Oceans Society has been a leader in the effort to protect Canada's oceans since they formed in 1998. They have published articles to inform the public on the dangers and harmful methods, such as the genetically modified salmon. One way to increase profits is to reduce costs. Faster growth from changing an animal's genetic material is one way to do it. Genetically modified salmon were patented by Canadian scientists who took a gene that regulates growth hormone in Pacific Chinook salmon and a promoter, the equivalent of a genetic on-off switch. This method provides Atlantic salmon a year-round appetite. Now a company called Aqua Bounty plans to use these GM fish to produce salmon eggs. Only the problem with GM fish is that it's transferring DNA across species, potentially causing new risks and impacts on the organism and ecosystems. There is a lack of science on the GM fish, but the FDA is currently processing and reviewing it. This method of genetic modification is currently under debate due to the possible negative effects.
The most important benefit of genetically modified salmon, specifically the Aqua Advantage salmon, is their increased growth rate. By introducing the growth hormone, the salmon are fully grown much quicker than the Atlantic salmon, which is the farm-raised counterpart that is not genetically engineered. They reach full size in about 8 months as opposed to the 3 years that it takes ordinary salmon to grow. Since they are very similar to regular salmon, both biologically and genetically, and have the normal amounts of nutrients such as omega-6 fatty acids, they are able to meet the nutritional requirements of humans. Due to the fatty acids in these salmon, they can help reduce the risk of heart disease. These genetically modified salmon can also lower food costs because of the supply of these fish increase due to their more rapid growth rate. This allows salmon to be made available to consumers with lower income. However, the genetically modified fish have a risk of outcompeting wild salmon by making food scarce and reproducing at a higher rate. Their genetically modified DNA gives them an unfair advantage over salmon living in the wild. On the other hand, Aqua Advantage salmon helps aquaculture maintain sustainability by requiring 25% less feed than other Atlantic salmon.
The genetically modified salmon is done by transgenesis, which includes putting genes from one organism into another to modify it. In this case, a gene from an ocean pout fish is mixed with DNA from the Chinook salmon, then injected into Atlantic salmon to modify the growth rate and taste of the fish. The transgenic salmon was originally founded in 1989 by micro-injecting an rDNA construct from a protein in ocean pout into a Chinook salmon. This specific salmon, produced by a company named Aqua Bounty Technologies Incorporated, is a triploid, which is effectively sterile female fish. They place the gene from the ocean pout, mix it with DNA from Chinook salmon, and then inject it into an Atlantic salmon. This is all done to create a larger fish so the company can sell more actual product. By injecting this DNA, it makes the fish grow year-round and not just in the regular season, leaving more opportunity to produce and reach market size in half the time of its natural counterparts. The FDA approved the Aqua Advantage salmon in November of 2015 as the first genetically engineered animal safe for human consumption. It took almost 20 years for it to be approved, and once it was approved, many people and companies came forward with controversial counter-arguments, along with those who sided with the FDA for finally approving this GMO. Because there's a high demand for fish protein and a decline in the capturing of wild fish, these genetically modified salmon will not escape into the wild as they are kept by the Aqua Bounty Company in safe hatcheries and farms. This means that they will not affect the environment in any time soon. The main reason for the salmon to be genetically modified, as well as other modified fish to come in the future, is to increase the growth and feed more people. This improves economic variability and opens up more opportunities for commercial farming. The Aqua Bounty Company successfully produced a new and improved form of salmon that is safe for consumption and has yet to ruin the environment. By using the transgenic process of injecting and mixing DNA, they have been able to produce a larger, better tasting, faster growing salmon, and it is all due to the scientific experiment to modify organisms to make them better. These transformations are beneficial and desirable for the producing market as it will lead to larger economic growth and a better farming system for aquaculture.